I have a question.
Okay, unmute yourself, Mahesh.
Word prajna means what? Intelligence, learned. Is that correct? Is that the sense it is used here?
Yeah, so here's the question. So what is the meaning of prajna? Does it mean intelligence, that is have anything to do with intelligence, etc.? So prajna, your question is prajna. Okay, so prajna refers to pandita, a receptacle of knowledge or knowledge itself, sophisticated knowledge. So it can be referred to, it can refer to many things. Prajna. So here it is prajna. Prajna. So sounds similar, but different meanings, opposite meanings almost. So just want to keep that in mind. Prajna. I remember in Houston we did a program, I think when Swami Tattvabodha ji came long ago. So we called that program as Prajna, I think, if I remember right. Some of you may remember. So, a good question.
I have a question related to the last classes, which I didn't attend, but I was listening to that. So, the avidya anadi, related to that. So, if I learn English, okay, so my question there was, since when I did not know English? Now, is the avidya is only related to the self, that knowledge about avidya, what we are talking about, the self. Otherwise, I would be knowing English by this time probably, when it's not that I have to learn now, or any other language, or anything which I am learning in this life, for example.
Correct. Good question. So, just to repeat the question here. Anadi avidya. So, karana shariram was the context. And what about the ignorance of so many things in this world, including languages like English? And I did not know English. After some time, I gradually picked up English, and then I know some English now. So many things, the entire language I did not know before. Correct. So that you can apply, any ignorance is anadi. Any ignorance. Including Atma Vidya. Every ignorance has to be anadi, because otherwise the opposite of that is jnanam. And nobody comes into this world saying, I know everything, or I know this particular thing completely. Now, child prodigies are there, and they seem to come into this world, and by the time they are 3 or 4 years, they are reading the entire encyclopedia, or at least they are able to understand everything. And here is a child that knows all the ragas of Hindustani and Carnatic music by the time she is 5 years old. Where is this happening from? So there is some samskara, but even there, okay, in this life, it's all coming. But in the past life, we will say some samskara was there, and that samskara is being carried over. But still, there is always a jnanam of that to begin with. And so that's a good observation, Prasad. Here we specifically say anadi because the Atma is involved, and because Atma also is anadi. Atma always was, is, and always will be. So the question is, what about Atma Vidya? etc. Those questions will arise. And so specifically it is mentioned, Anadi Avidya.
Jayakumar ji, this Upadhi is a misunderstanding or misinterpretation?
So ask your question differently, Rukmini ji.
See, this Upadhi is I mistook or I take my body when I'm saying I am hungry, I am sick. Actually, Shastra Vachaka is different. It doesn't involve Atma. Only your body, mind, sense complex. When you are identifying your body, you say you are sick.
Correct.
So this, when we say this Upadhi is I mistook the body, mind, sense complex to be to the Atma. So when I say I am sick, this Upadhi occurs as a misinterpretation or ignorance, avidya. Is it the same like avidya?
So your question, I think, is, does the word Upadhi mean a mistake on something?
Yes.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the example of the crystal and the hibiscus flower, or the crystal and the cloth underneath it. We said the cloth is the Upadhi for the crystal, for the red color of the crystal, for the crystal to appear red. Okay. Now, there are two possibilities now. Either I know that the crystal is not red in color, or I don't know that the crystal is not red in color. In other words, I think the crystal is red in color, or I know the crystal is colorless. These are the two possibilities of my knowledge about the crystal, correct? Okay. Now, Upadhi is there, the flower is there, crystal is there, and red appearance is there. Now, that is over. That continues to be there. Now I say, no, it's just an appearance. The crystal is colorless. And I'm so clear that, and everybody else around me also is clear about it. So there is no longer any ajnanam about the color of the crystal. Okay? That is with respect to my knowledge alone. But we still use the word Upadhi for that flower. The Upadhi continues to be there. The crystal continues to be there. The appearance of red color continues to be there. The appearance of red color continues to be there. Okay. You all cannot see me properly now, I think, but at least if you can hear me, that's great. Okay.
No, we can see.
So now you know why I put a cloth behind. Another reason, two reasons. Because when the daylight breaks, this is what happens. Okay. So the Upadhi continues to be there. Think about it. So when your question is Upadhi, does the word Upadhi mean Ajnanam?
Yes.
Okay, that is your question. Does the word Upadhi mean Ajnanam? So, in this context, the word Upadhi doesn't mean Ajnanam, because even though I am a Jnani when it comes to this color of the crystal, Upadhi continues to be there or not? The crystal appears red or not? You know the crystal is not red, but the crystal's appearance, does it change or not?
Because of the flower.
What changes? You say you know that the crystal is colorless. Does anything outside change? Nothing changes. The flower remains, the crystal remains. The colorless crystal continues to remain colorless crystal. It is not tainted by the red color at all. And the appearance of the crystal being red also remains. Correct? Also remains. Therefore, we say the upadhi is there. But the mistake is not committed. That is what we say. You think about it.
Because we know hibiscus is red, crystal is colorless.
Okay?
You know, when we keep it together and the crystal appears to be red. So that also we know. The crystal appears to be red because of the hibiscus flower. Red color or red cover.
Okay?
So when it occurs as red, when the red cover is there, that time only the upadhi is there.
Correct. Correct. Now you're asking a different question. So now your question is, when that flower is there, only the crystal is red.
Yeah.
Correct. If you take away the flower, what happens? Take away the flower, put it on your head. Then what happens to the crystal?
Crystal, it becomes its original colorless.
Original, okay. So original, it goes back to the original color.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So there is now, in your new example, there is no longer an upadhi which can give the red color to the crystal.
Okay.
No longer upadhi is gone. Correct. Upadhi is gone. And now the appearance is different, but your knowledge continues to remain the same. The crystal is colorless.
Yes.
Yes, now that upadhi is not there.
Okay.
But the upadhi comes back. Now you put another yellow flower there. Sembarati. Sembarati, I think, is chrysanthemum, no?
Sembarati is this hibiscus only.
Oh, okay.
Sembarati.
Chrysanthemum?
Chrysanthemum is the other flower. The Suryagandhi Mari Dwar.
Suryagandhi. It's a yellow color, na?
Yellow color.
Yeah, yellow color.
Okay. So now I put the Sambarti, the chrysanthemum there, and now the color of the crystal appearance is different. So it has gained a different upadhi. We say as though we say, the crystal has gained a different upadhi.
Okay.
Has gained a different upadhi. Crystal hasn't gained anything, really speaking. Crystal remains crystal.
Yeah.
It is stable, it always is there, nothing happened to it. But the upadhi has changed. Upadhi has changed. Like, I'm wearing a different dress today, yesterday was a different dress. Upadhi is changed, I continue to remain same, I appear different.
So the appearance, different, whenever you put a different colors on crystal, the appearance is upadhi. Can I conclude that?
Yeah, correct. Upadhi is what creates the appearance, correct?
Yeah, appearance.
And when we say Sthula Shariram is Upadhi, we recognize that the Atma and the Sthula Shariram are different. That statement also we are saying that Sthula Shariram is Atma, Atma is not Sthula Shariram. That we have understood. Wave is water, water cannot be wave. Water is unaffected by wave. All this we have seen. So the wave is an upadhi for water. The word we use for the form and shape and of the water, which we call wave, That term we use for that wave is called upadhi. Also, because it is that apparent waveness that seems to take away the real nature of water, as it were. Water's real nature cannot be taken away by anybody anymore. But if I am confused, somebody said, I want to see water. And I told you this example before, I think. So, this fellow who is in UP, and he has never seen ocean. Sagar nahi dekha, mujhko sagar dekhna hai. So, the son-in-law, new son-in-law is from Chennai. And so, hey, Chennai mein, अरे वहाँ पर तो वहाँ दक्षिण भारत में सागर है ना, मुझे लेके जाओ. Please take me there. I want to see it. अच्छा, जाएंगे. So this man takes the father-in-law to the Chennai, and he drops him off at the Marina Beach. And okay, enjoy. And he goes away. I'll pick you up in the evening. And evening he comes. The father-in-law is furious. Father-in-law is furious. क्या किया तुमने? Yeah, what happened? What happened? क्या मैंने बोला कि हमको सागर देखना है? या सागर देखना है, यहीं पर ये सागर है? नहीं, ये तो पानी है. Now, how do you deal with this fellow? What kind of dialogue can happen now? Correct? So, the pani hai, good. So this fellow recognized Satyam, but the Mithya is Sagar. Yeah, what do you see is Sagar, no doubt. So like that, wave is Upadhi, Sagar is Upadhi. And slightly different example, flower is Upadhi for the color of the crystal. Because the flower and crystal, there are separate objects. But Sagar and water are not separate objects. You can't separate the wave from the water. You can't separate the Sthula Shariram from Atma. So, slightly different examples, but we appreciate what Upadhi is. So, Upadhi always is there. The question is, do I make a mistake? Do I take the Upadhi to be Satyam or not? That is the question. That's the only difference. So, if you come across any place where the word Upadhi is taken to be identical to Ajnanam, then you let me know. I have not seen that. Upadhi is used as the word Upadhi, as a potential locus for a mistake. Go back to the definition of Upadhi. Locus for a mistake. It can be a locus for a mistake. It can be a place where you can commit a mistake. Kosha, we said that, we defined kosha like that. But Sthula Shariram is a kosha. Sthula Shariram is a place where I make a mistake. But Sthula Shariram is Upadhi. And I can make a mistake in that Upadhi, or I can correct my mistake. Both are possible. So the word Upadhi itself does not mean mistake. That is the summary, I think, of this discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One place, while defining Upadhi, it told experience is also a universal mistake. Experiencer is a universal mistake. But all along, we have been taught you are the experiencer of whatever is happening. You are different from this experiencer. You are the experiencer, but your nature is different. Atma. But is it a universal mistake? It is clubbed with I did this, this is my body, this is my finger, this is my beauty, like that. Is it a mistake, something else, some other word we have to use?
So your phrase your question now again.
Experiencer, is it a universal mistake?
Yeah. So we go through experiences. We do things we experience things. I think into these two sentences we can summarize our life. So yes, so there is a karta, a doer, and there is a bhokta, an experiencer. So we say that the karta is I, like the wave is water. But I am not karta. Water cannot be wave. Water is not wave. This is what we say. Therefore, bhokta is I, that is, experiencer is I, but I am not experiencer.
Yes.
If I am experiencer, then I can't be doer. I can't be any of the other roles that are there. Therefore, the fact that I am taking on so many roles shows that I am not the role. The fact that I am father, I am son, I am brother, I am employee, I am a tenant, I am owner. The fact that I am so many shows very clearly that I am none of them. My real nature is none of them, correct? That is the main point to take from that, okay?
Yeah, okay. 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 Thanks.
Yeah, Ashutosh, you had a question?
Yeah, so I think my question was, you said the locus of a mistake is kosha. A place where a mistake is made is kosha. So is that for a person who has not realized the true nature of the self, right? Because for Swamiji or for other people who've actually realized the self, this does not hold.
Okay. So, good question.
Right?
Good question. So, yeah, kosha is a place where a mistake is made, or a place where a potential mistake is possible. Suppose we change it like that. A place where a potential mistake is possible. So yeah, generally for a jnani, since the mistakes have been corrected,
Right.
we don't use these words, and we still use the word upadhi. You know what we say? We say Swamiji is a special upadhi. We will use that word upadhi. Because still a form, a body is there, a male person, female person, all those things are there. Transactions happen. All that continues. Nothing changes. From our perspective, nothing changes. And we do namaskar. You can't do namaskar if you don't see a person. If you don't respect a person, you can't see namaskar. You can't do namaskar. Not possible. So all that continues, and we say that person has a special upadhi. We use this word commonly in our language. So upadhi continues to be there. Kosha is a place where mistake is made. And I suppose if a mistake is not made, if the mistake is corrected, then for that person there is no kosha. There is no kosha.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So again, this is a question of free will. Like, you have the option of taking the right path or the wrong path, or inertia. But if you do the right thing and you are a jnani, then the kosha sort of does not exist for you, or it disappears.
So when you say kosha disappears, what do you mean by that statement?
I mean,
what actually disappears?
the location will not be there, right? Because you're not committing the mistake, or you are not really you have risen above that that sort of level. So maybe you will that locus disappears. Is that right?
Locus doesn't disappear. The only thing that's gone is ajnana. So if I say sthula shariram is a locus for a mistake, is a place of mistake. But then I correct myself later on. Thanks to Vedanta, I say, no, I am not the body. If I say, the body doesn't disappear. The body doesn't disappear at all. Body continues to remain and it continues to age. Everything happens. All the properties that applied to the body before knowledge took place continue to work on the body. The same properties, the same laws work on the body. Nothing changes. So yeah, it's a technical question you're asking, correct?
Yeah.
Technical question. So does the kosha exist or not? Okay, if it helps you, see, it's important to understand that only ajnanam has gone away. Nothing else has gone. Nothing else has gone. Upadhi continues to remain there. And okay, there's nothing covering my knowledge. Therefore, if you use cover as a definition of kosha, then that apparent cover is not there anymore.
Okay.
Nothing covers my knowledge. Therefore, if you use kosha as a cover, then the kosha is not there anymore. And we are only cautious here because the body doesn't disappear. Because people have these ideas also. For a jnani, the body will disappear. So all these funny ideas, we don't need those funny ideas. Yeah.
So can we say the experience is the same with the knowledge that we gain? Knowing that the crystal has no color, with that knowledge, still the experience of that color reflecting on the crystal is the same.
Correct. Because the experience is a function of the pramanam. So I use the same eyes and the same objects are there and the eyes bring about the same data. And so the experience continues to be same. Exactly. So it's the same thing. The experience of the sun revolving around the earth continues to be the same.
Correct.
Even though I have a degree. Beyond high school, I've gone and I've got a college degree and all that. Still everything is the same. Cognitively, a shift has occurred.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, him go ahead.
Only the intellect will capture that knowledge. Knowing intellectually you're convinced that that is true, but the experience that you have is the same with or without it.
Correct. So, correct. So intellectually you have understood. Now, we generally, when we say knowledge, we don't need to say intellectual knowledge. Unless, why we don't need to say intellectual knowledge? Because then I'll ask you, is there some other kind of knowledge that is different? And intellectual knowledge is a special knowledge. But then there is some kind of knowledge, dental knowledge that takes place in your teeth, dental knowledge. Knowledge that takes place somewhere else is called cardiac knowledge, because it takes place here. No, it's not like that. So knowledge always occurs in one place, and that is the only place knowledge occurs. And that place happens to be intellect, and so occasionally we say intellectual. But knowledge is always knowledge. And so yeah, sometimes we use the word intellectual knowledge just to emphasize or re-emphasize that we're talking about the intellect at that point. But yeah, but there is, just to be sure, we don't often use the word intellectual knowledge, because knowledge is always intellectual.
Instead of intellect, can you say the locus is changed there also?
Locus of what?
Of the previous vidya has become now vidya. So that's where the knowledge has happened of the mind or because mind is again a manifestation of intellect. Instead of saying intellect, I would say locus of the knowledge has changed, or the avidya has changed.
So, yeah, both avidya and vidya are in my mind only. It's in the mind. I am ignorant or I am knowledgeable. So the mind either knows or mind doesn't know. These are the only two possibilities.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the locus of knowledge is the mind, no doubt. Locus of knowledge, where knowledge takes place, is the mind. Correct.
Yeah.
But the locus where of a mistake is different. That's different than the mind. So the place which is misunderstood is the kosha that we are talking about. Correct?
Yeah.
That which is misunderstood. Okay, good. Yeah, Him, go ahead. You had a question.
Yeah. My question was about free will. So, does free will really exist? Because if you look at it from the point of view of the ahankar, so if from the point of view of the ego, it appears as if free will exists. But really speaking, the mind, the body, all of it is just a process which is not really under my control. It's not that I am directing it or something, right? So why do we even say that free will really exists?
Yeah, so the same reason you say that everything exists in this world is the same reason you say free will exists. The same reason I ask you a question, does this phone exist or not?
Acha, okay, like that. Just because it appears, so you can point to it, you say that it exists.
Correct.
Okay.
If you say phone exists, then free will exists.
Okay.
You can't say phone exists and free will doesn't exist. That is not acceptable.
Yeah. Correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
So you apply the norms everywhere. That's why they say when it is understood that everything is mithya, then free will also is understood as mithya. Nothing disappears. Okay, nothing disappears. Remember, this disappearance idea we need to give up. The knowledge of the reality is understood. And therefore they say the jnani does not have free will. Sometimes they say that. What is the meaning of the statement? Doesn't have free will because free will also is mithya. Like anything else in this world. And so then that free will is as though gone. As though gone. Because it no longer has a reality of its own. Correct? No longer has a reality of its own. Until now I was thinking I have free will, I will do this and this, that, etc. Later on also it is there. The ability to do an initiative and all is there. Sankalpa is there. But they will say Sankalpa Rahitaha. They will say, referring to a jnani, one who doesn't have a sankalpa. Say that, very powerful statement. That tells what you just asked, which is, now that person has understood the free will also is mithya, and therefore what? Therefore the person stops doing things or what? Stops making decisions or what? No, decisions are made. I have to attend a class means I have to attend a class. I have to teach a class means I have to teach a class. Jnani also teaches a class. All decisions happen, everything happens. But things, that person is no longer under the spell of this ahankara. Saying that I did this and I did that, etc. Doesn't. That idea is not there. Things happen. Things happen. Very beautiful it is. It's really very beautiful. Because there is no esoteric stuff. We are not talking about esoteric stuff here. Remember that. Vedanta is not esoteric. It's all beautiful appreciation of realities. And so no levitation and all that. No, this levitation, if you want to levitate, you attend some other class. Don't come to my class. This is what I will tell people. I don't say levitation is not possible. Levitation is maybe possible. Everything is possible in this world these days. So many things are possible. If you want to learn levitation, you go. I don't know. I need to find out who might be a teacher and teach you to levitate. But I'll find out. If I know, I will give you a call. So beautiful. Yeah, that's a very good question, and it has a free will. So free will is as real as everything else in this world.
Okay.
The minute you begin to appreciate, free will starts losing its that apparent reality. Correct?
Yeah, it does.
Correct. Wonderful. Yeah. So it's 8:05 here, so we'll stop. And if you have any other questions, we will continue. So this time now, the time has changed for those of you. Yeah, you can pause the recording here.